Everyone. It's Ellen Juddy here, your PLC lead for high school dance on the Godot Communities website. We are here with the second segment of the webinar that I called The Great Beyond. Tried to come up with a catchy name. I wanted to talk about things that happen outside our classroom because I know we do all kinds of activities beyond our school day. First one, we talked about auditioning for your program and sort of leveling your classes and how do you do that so kids are in the right class. And then this one, we are talking about dance team. Disclaimer, I am no expert on dance team. I am incredibly new to it. I did start my dance team 5 years ago, knowing that dance team was going to become a sport soon. And so indeed it did last year. So I never had anything to do with the dance team as a student, as a coach, as a teacher, ever. So when I started 5 years ago, it was just like, I guess what you would call an after-school company. And I was able to control everything. I was able to write all the rules because I can be a control freak like that. So, but it was just, just like a dance company. So we performed in the homecoming parade. We did some basketball games. And so everything was student choreographed. And we did some jazz, but mostly hip hop. And then we did end up doing our first competition in February of 2020. And that was actually before we were a varsity sport. It was some other competition. So anyway, then it became a varsity sport during the pandemic. Then all of a sudden, we had all kinds of rules and just things that had me scratching my head as to why we were doing them this way. And then paperwork, and then just a few more pieces of paper. So, this is what we need. I made a list of everything that we need, and this is for the GHSA, which is the Georgia High School Association. And that's the association that's over the high school sports here in Georgia. My school uses an online platform for all of the paperwork that we need for our athletes to participate in dance team. I'm going to read you the list. So we need a BHS, Brookwood High School athletic participation form. We need a consent to treatment form. We need a transportation agreement form. We need an authorization to release medical information form, insurance cards. Here it comes. GHSA cardiac awareness form, GHSA concussion awareness form, GHSA heat and humidity form, COVID waiver. I don't know if that will stand moving forward. GHSA health history form, and then a physical exam form. They need to have a physical. And all of this is before they can even audition. So basically, I went from students and parents having to do two things. One, sign my dance team contract, and then pay the dance team fee. That's all they had to do. But now, all of a sudden, we have to do all of this stuff. And getting parents and students to get all of those forms up online was like herding cats. So it was really hard. I managed to do it somehow, but I think this year I will be a bit more proactive, and I think I figured out ways to make it a little bit easier. Of course, now we're moving to a new online platform. The county is making everybody go to this one particular platform. So now I have to do a webinar on that and learn how to use that. So anyway, dance team season, and I will tell you as I know it. I am not an expert on competition. We did pretty poorly this year in competition, so I will not speak to that. I will just tell you what I know of dance team. Dance team runs October through February, so that's the official season. It's considered over after the state competition, which has in the last 2 years been mid-February. Here are the rules as I understand them for dance team, like getting ready for a season. Your auditions need to be done in the spring of the current year, or you have to wait until the season starts in October, and that's what happened to me last year. I should have had the auditions spring of 21, but I did not. And so I was stuck waiting to do them in October, and our season starts in November. I mean, well, right when the season starts, but basketball games for us start in November. So it's not a lot of time. You are allowed to do clinics in dance language that are workshops. anytime over the summer up until August. Then you can't work on anything for competition. So basically, all of your competition dances have to be learned over the summer and then not rehearsed again until the season starts in October. Huh. Okay. You can work on anything that is considered spirit team outside the season. So, which would be any dances you do at basketball games or community events, but they just can't be competition dances until the season starts. It gets a little crazy. You would think you'd want to do your competition. Well, you can. You can do your competition dances at basketball games, but you can only start rehearsing the competition dances 1 month before the games start. Okay. So anyway, you can have a max of 20 dancers and a minimum of 7 for competitions. We have 4 genres. We have jazz, hip hop, pom, and high kick. You know what jazz is. You know what hip hop is. Pom, I guess it's like a mix between cheerleading and dance, I think, with the actual pom things. And then high kick, I think rockets. I don't know. And again, disclaimer, I'm still wrapping my head around all of the rules that we need to take part in, but this is just how I understand it. But if you are wanting to start a dance team, I highly suggest that you go to the GHSA dance page, and I'll drop that link in the discussion. There's a manual. So, and I'll also drop that particular link in the discussion as well for the manual that tells you all the things. The last thing I'll say about dance team is that if you are classically trained and you have a background in concert dance, this kind of thing might be hard to swallow, as it was for me at first. I'm trying to come to terms with the competition aspect of it. Having a bit of a hard time with that myself. But you could definitely argue that any medium that lifts dance up into the spotlight is a good thing, and which it is doing. We already knew it was a sport to begin with, so now people are recognizing it as such. So, I mean, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this? How do you feel about competition? Like I said, we did quite poorly, even though I looked at the rubric for competition. We did all hip hop. I tried one competition, and then I would get a comment from a judge. Then I would try another thing for another competition, and then I would get another comment that would, so I just I don't know where to begin. I'm still trying to feel all that out. I never did competitions as a student. And then as a teacher in a private studio, we never did competitions either. I think I might have gone to one competition and I was like, never doing that again. So I don't have this type of background. But I do also know that I've had a ton of interest in people being on the dance team. So there is a space for kids who need to feel like they belong. So, we do now, I guess this depends on your county, and I don't know how budgets work per se, but we do get a stipend now. So dance team is now on the salary schedule for sports. So, I mean, we're low on the totem pole there, but hey, it's something. I ran the dance team for 4 years without doing a stipend. And I know we don't get stipends for much of all the stuff we do outside anyway. So anyway, just was thinking, what are your thoughts on competition? And if you have a dance team, it would be great to hear from you. Like I said, I'm still trying to streamline all of the extra paperwork and all the different things. So anyway, I would love to hear from you on that. Okay, that's all I have for dance team for this segment. In the next segment, I wanted to discuss taking your students to dance events and festivals and whatnot. So hopefully I will see you there. All right, thanks.